Teenage boy, Adair, had been missing for 5 days. Now, he was found wandering outside number 19, barefoot and shaking, repeating the same terrifying sentence. It wasn't me, but it had my voice. When the team tried to question him, he panicked, screaming that the house learns you. He refused to go anywhere near the place again. So, Rania drove to the scene herself. The boy's footprints led straight to the front door. There was no sign of anyone else. No forced entry, no struggle. Yet he'd been gone for days. Inside, the house was eerily silent. No dust, no cobwebs. It was almost as if someone cleaned it regularly, even though it had been abandoned for years. That was the first red flag. Rania took out her flashlight and moved toward the living room. The air felt heavy, almost pressurized, like the inside of a sealed vault. That's when she noticed something deeply wrong. There were small speakers embedded in the walls, almost invisible unless you looked closely. And next to them, a recorder with a blinking red light. Someone had been listening. Rania pressed the recorder's playback button. Static hissed, and then, a whisper. Rania. She froze. She played it again. Her own name, spoken in a voice that sounded exactly like hers, but stretched, slowed, and drained of all emotion. Her blood ran cold. She hadn't said her name since she arrived. It was impossible. She checked the machine. The timestamp was from 3 hours ago. How? She muttered. A quiet tapping echoed from behind her. Tack, tack. She spun around. Nothing. The sound had come from the wall. She pressed her hand against it and felt the vibration through her palm. Something was behind it. Back at the station, the traumatized boy, Adair, finally spoke. I never meant to go inside. He trembled. My friends dared me. We just wanted to look around. But when I stepped in, I heard someone whisper my name. It wasn't my friends, it was me, my own voice, coming from upstairs. What did it say? Rania asked. Hader's eyes filled with terror. It said, come here. I want to show you something. But I didn't say that. I swear, he continued. I followed the voice and found a room with hundreds of tapes, all labeled with names mine. My friends, people from the neighborhood, even people who had died. And the tapes were whispering. All at once, he was shaking uncontrollably. I tried to run, but the door locked itself. And every time you speak, the house copies your voice. Every sentence, every breath, it's like it's learning you, and after a while, it starts talking back. Rania felt a chill crawl down her spine. What does the house want? Hader's answer was barely a whisper. It wants a new voice. The next evening, Rania returned to number 19 alone. The moment she stepped inside, the door slammed shut. Not playing games, she muttered, heading for the living room. She scanned the walls and found a thin crack in the wallpaper-hidden door. It swung open to reveal a narrow hallway lined with soundproofing foam. At the end was a small room filled with recording equipment, and in the center, a wooden chair with frayed straps. Then she saw the tapes, rows and rows of them, each labeled with a name, Hader's and hers. A fresh tape sat on the desk, labeled Rania Day 1. She hit play static. Then her voice, don't turn around. But the voice didn't just come from the tape. It came from right behind her. Slowly, she turned. Figure stood in the doorway, a shifting silhouette of darkness and flickering static. It had her posture, her height, her movements, but no face. And when it spoke, it used her voice. You shouldn't have come back. Rania raised her gun. How do you know my voice? She demanded. The mimic glitched forward. I know everyone. What did you do to hate her? A crackling, distorted smile formed on its non-face. I learned him, but he wasn't a good fit. It leaned close and whispered, I want a strong voice, one I can use to leave this house. Suddenly, every speaker in the house came alive, whispering her name, Rainia, Rainia. The sound was deafening. She fired a warning shot, shattering a speaker, and the whispers faltered. The mimic lunged. Rainia dodged, grabbing a metal tape reel and swinging it. The reel passed through the creature like smoke, but it was enough of a disruption for her to slip past. She ran, but the house fought back. Doors slammed shut. Speakers screamed her own voice, shouting commands she never said. Come back, sit down, don't fight. The front door was locked tight. The mimic appeared at the end of the hall. There is no outside for you anymore. Rania pulled out her thermal scanner. If this thing used sound, it needed electricity. She scanned the ceiling and saw a network of wires pulsing with heat, all leading to a central circuit box. She had one chance. She sprinted. The mimic shrieked an ugly, distorted sound as the walls screamed with it. Rania reached the circuit box, ripped it open, and fired directly into it. Sparks exploded. The house went dark and silent. The mimic collapsed into a puddle of fading static and dissolved into nothing. The front door clicked open. Rania stumbled outside, gasping for air. Behind her, number 19 was finally, truly silent.